Hi everyone, my name is John G. And on behalf of the entire Bratayley family, thank you so much for being here. I know it means the world to them. And to those watching at home, all over the world on their phones, we're so glad you could join us to celebrate the life of our friend Caleb. Grief can feel lonely, but the outpouring of love and support from all of you has been a beautiful reminder that the Bratayley family is far greater than just the people in this room. Our community is strong. We are all in this together, and we will all get through this together. It's okay to feel sad, and we encourage you all to share your feelings with each other and with your loved ones. We're going to start with a short video celebrating Caleb's life, and then open it up to the room. We ask that you keep your remarks brief so that everyone who wants to gets a chance to share.
Hey guys, today's video is going to be a little bit different. Bratayley. This is my first home run that I ever got. These are all my trophies. This one was the biggest one I ever got. It says Caleb Wheels because I was really fast. My nickname was Wheels. This is a picture of my cousin Mary Kate and me. We were about 3 or 4 years old. Ow! Did you bite it? This is Daddy's high school baseball hat. Thank you for letting us have 50 subscribers. And now what we're going to do is what we've all been waiting for. 1,
2, 3.
Try to do my best to keep you safe inside this nest and keep you Thank you guys. Gets more clear when it's more cloudy every day. But summer's gonna come and burn the stormy clouds and all the doubt away.
everybody sing along! I am a baked potato, baked potato, baked
Like it's taking forever.
Getting nowhere fast, boys.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Caleb's fixed his hair.
Let me see.
You don't get to see.
Where's Caleb?
I don't really know what word this is.
Okay.
But it's okay. You having the chance, like, say you were elected as president, and going into your presidency, what is your biggest fear?
Well, that's a very thoughtful question. You could, like, be a reporter if you wanted to nail it.
Nailed it.
Yeah, you nailed it. It was worded perfectly.
Okay, so right now we're in Brooklyn and we're about to step in to Hillary Clinton's headquarters. Do you think it's an advantage or disadvantage that Hillary Clinton is elected?
You came through again with the good questions. Here we go. Caleb! Did you miss me? You missed me.
He's either tying knots, I'm not sure. So you're either a really good knot tire or a really bad knitter. What do you think?
Did you have a happy birthday? That's the question of the day.
Yeah, it was a good birthday. We went to a theme park. We went to the zoo.
Didn't go to
You guys
the
didn't
zoo.
film it? Why not?
We didn't.
Oh, it was my opinion.
There's something different about you. You feel different?
I have a new freckle. I knew something was up. People are staring at me.
That new freckle.
I woke up today really early because I had like a 9:30 baseball game.
What position do you play?
Catcher.
You got describe your catcher's mask.
It's exactly like Captain America, so I'm definitely representing Patriots.
George Washington showed up and decided to be a pitcher.
Yeah, he decided to come in an inning, relief pitcher, pitch the field. Oh, his curveball was nasty. It went straight to the ground. I mean, so did his fastball, but I mean, it was great.
My name's Caleb, and I'm making history.
3, 2, 1.
Polar bear, oh my gosh. Okay. Soldier rations, we're looking, blah, blah. The colonists, they called themselves. Everyone thought the polar bear yelled, "The British are coming, the British are coming," but he actually yelled, "The regulars are coming, the regulars are coming." So smart. Are you guys gonna go over logistics again?
Bring it back.
I know. It's been so long.
Alright.
Yes. His name's Todd.
What do you mean? He's cannibal.
Cannibal? Cannonball.
Caribbean, you left it, doesn't it? Yes.
Mine was like adventure.
Who do you think you are, huh?
I'm your mother.
Oh.
Hi, puppy.
Guys, this is serious. Stop laughing.
asking if it's true, and it is. Caleb is gone. Annie, if you need anything, I'm here for you. Caleb will always be with us.
Hello. I drew the short straw and got to speak after that. Thank you very much. My name is Paula. I'm friends with Katie and Billy, and my children are friends with Annie and Caleb. I met Caleb when he was 8 years old. He was that kid in the waiting room at gymnastics, wearing a baseball bat, hanging out waiting for his sister. As soon as I met him, I knew that my son Luke was going to adore him because they both shared in their love of baseball. It wasn't long before they were running around the yard, playing ball, hitting pitches, playing video games. We were so lucky that my son and my daughter found a brother and sister who they loved so much. But it wasn't just my kids who connected with Caleb. We always joked around about how I would get custody of Caleb in the divorce. Don't know who was getting divorced, but whoever it was, I took him on. Caleb and I shared in our love of animals. We would always come up with stories about whenever a dog did something wrong, it really wasn't their fault. And that was usually Piper. I dog sit a lot, and whenever my friends go out of town, the dogs come over to my house. Caleb's favorite dog was this little puppy named Rocky. He's not a puppy, he's probably 9, 10 years old now. He's a little Chihuahua, and he's like 6 pounds, and he hugs you like a baby. Puts his arms around you and snuggles with you. It was Caleb's favorite dog. I could truly bribe Caleb into spending the night just by telling him Rocky was there. So that was Luke and my little way of getting Caleb to come over. And then they moved across the street from Rocky. I didn't have that anymore. Now I have Waffles. So we went to Waffles, and I'm sure if you looked at the card, you see that Caleb's favorite food is my waffles. I'd like to say that there was something special about them, but there was not. All I had to do was mention to Caleb a sleepover, and you could see the Eggo waffles show up in his eyes. And that's right, they were Eggo waffles with butter and syrup. So on days when we would have him, and sometimes we would have him for a week at a time, I'd have to go to BJ's and get the great big pack because I had to make sure I had enough waffles for an entire week. And he could eat 8 at a time. That tiny little kid who weighed 90 pounds soaking wet could eat 8 waffles at a time. And I would put 2 waffles in front of him, and before he even cut into them, can I have 2 more to swallow? So I always looked forward to my time with him and hoped that Katie never figured out how to make my waffles. So most of you know what you see of Caleb in the videos, and you might think he was like that just for the camera, but he wasn't. He truly was that crazy over-the-top kid who keeps you laughing all the time. One day, Caleb and I were driving to his house, just the 2 of us, which was actually pretty common because I took care of getting him where he needed to go, especially when Billy was deployed. So one day, we were on the way back to his house, and it wasn't surprising for him to have random comments on anything going by, trees, cars. And he says, "Miss Paula, I have hair." And I'm like, I put it in park, turn around, like, I don't know why you're telling me this, Caleb. In places I shouldn't have hair. And I'm like, say about that, Caleb? And he said, just thought I'd tell you. And he gets out of the car and he runs into the house. That's Caleb. The other side of Caleb is a sweet, sentimental side, which my daughter Sydney this summer changed gyms after being at the same place for 7 years. It was Sydney's last day of practice that day, and I don't remember why, but I had Caleb alone in the car again. Seems to be a theme. And I was really emotional, and I'm trying to explain to him on the way there why I was emotional and how upsetting it was going to be, and it was breaking my heart, and it was going to be really tough, and so he was prepared for when I got back into the car. So we parked the car, and I get out, and I peek in. I said, "Want me to leave the air conditioning on so you're cool?" And he said, "I'm going in with you. You need support." And I sat in there, and for those of you in this room that were there that day, you can attest that he sat next to me the entire time I sat in that waiting room with tears streaming down my face because I was really upset about leaving, just there for my moral support. The first time I noticed my kids' relationships was different than most. Luke's was pretty normal, typical running around the house, breaking things, playing ball, playing hockey in the house, playing basketball in the house, playing baseball in the house, playing baseball outside. That was all pretty typical stuff for my son and Caleb. The special relationship was actually with Caleb and Sydney. I remember the first time that I watched their relationship together. We went to a sailing party, and it was for hospice, and we dragged Caleb along. And they had a great time, and afterwards we went on a sailboat, and we took a little dinghy, and we went on the sailboat, and we got out there. I would say Sydney was probably 8, and Caleb may have been 9 or 10. And we're all sitting out there having a great time, and look around, Luke's looking for hiding places in the sailboat, and Caleb and Sydney are up on the deck. So I go up there, I'm like, "What are you guys talking about?" "God." I'm like, "What are you talking about God for?" "I don't know, just talking about God." It's like, you're 8 and 10. What are you talking about God for? So such began their very philosophical, emotional, deep friendship that they had. I don't remember I ever had a day when Sydney was ever excluded from anything that Caleb did. Luke excluded from everything. Caleb, not once. Always asked her if she wanted to join in. Always asked her if she was interested in hanging out. I remember when Luke came to me and said, "When are my friends going to want to play with me?" I'm like, "Oh baby, it's just beginning." A few months ago, we were at the beach, and Sydney and Caleb stayed up all night talking about, and I quote from her, marriage, life, kids, college, how old we want to be when we do all these things. And I thought, this is 3 years later, and these kids are still connecting at such a deep level that it was just awesome. And then she told me that at one point, he told her she's not allowed to date anybody without running it by him. So we decided that it's first Caleb, then Dad, then Luke. So he was first on the list. Unfortunately, the thought that Sydney and Caleb would end up together, which was always in my head, not happening anymore. But I do hope, and I pray for my daughter, that the relationship you have with your future mate is even an eighth as emotionally tied as it was with Caleb. And that was based on trust and friendship and acceptance. So today, I hope all of you join me in celebrating Caleb's life. I will miss him to my very, very core. I will miss talking to him when I thought he was awake, but he was really asleep because his eyes were open. I will miss making him waffles in the morning. I'll miss taking him to Ripken Camp every summer and watching him play. I will miss my Sunday afternoons in the spring when I would take and root for his team while he was there. I will miss taking him to Luke's games and having him teach me about the sport and help me keep score. And I will miss watching him play outside with Luke for hours, dragging them in at dark just to eat. There truly won't be a day I won't think about him and how much he impacted everybody around him. I promise to live my life more like him and not take myself too seriously. I promise you, Caleb, we will watch over your family as you would have asked us to do, and be there for them as they grieve for you. Rest in peace, Caleb. You will be missed. Next is Coach Josh.
I had the pleasure of meeting Caleb and his family when he was 9 years old. I had great honor of being able to be his head coach for one season. And when I first got to see him play and evaluate him, right away I saw that there was a lot of qualities in him that a coach would look for in a baseball player. But you know, one word comes to mind when I think of Caleb. This is exemplary. And what Caleb did was he set an example for his teammates. And I know with my team, he set such a great example. I know his future teams, he always did also. For one, he always had a positive attitude. Whether it be catching those games in 95-degree weather, or those sometimes boring practices, he still remained, had a great attitude and hustled and always, wanted to do his best in whatever he did. And I know his teammates were looking at him and saying, hey, he's got a great attitude. He's also a very respectful young man, always respectful to me and the other coaches, always trusting his coaches and that they know what was best for him and the team. He had such a great work ethic, and he took pride in his craft as being a catcher. Just always worked hard at it. And each year that I saw him play, I could see he was getting better and better and improved every single year, just because of that work ethic. He would do anything to help his team win, whether it be stealing bases, laying down a bunt with bases loaded, thinking of, hey, I'm going to hit a grand slam, but he would bunt that and make a perfect bunt, score that run. And that's what Caleb was. He was a great teammate. What is a great teammate? Great teammate is being supportive of one another, always thinking of the team before yourself. And guys, as youngsters and even as adults, we think of the present, we think of who hits the farthest, who throws the hardest, who's going to be on the Sports Center highlights. But the one thing, once your playing days are done, the one thing you're going to look back on is think about who was a great teammate. And I know all of you will think back and think, hey, Caleb was a great teammate. And Caleb will always be on my roster. Now to speak is Coach Larry.
Thank you, Josh. My name is Larry, and I was lucky enough to be Caleb's baseball coach at Savage for about 3 years. When Caleb joined our team 2 or 3 years ago, he was a shy, quiet, kind of unassuming kind of baseball player. By the time the third season rolled around, he was one of our team leaders. Caleb led by example, and I know he inspired his teammates to be the best they could be. I remember that on more than one occasion, we would be losing a game by just a run or two, with not too many at-bats left. The game seemed lost, but this is the kind of situation that Caleb thrived in. Not only did he tie the game up, he inspired his teammates to win it. I remember one particular incident. I think it was Stars and Strikes tournament. It was late in the game, probably around the 4th or 5th inning. We were losing probably by a run or two, and Caleb busted a triple in the left center gap that I think is still rolling. He tied the game. Actually, I think that was, in that particular instance, that was the go-ahead run, and it just inspired the team to go ahead, and I think we actually did very well in that tournament. And that was, to me, that was the turning point in that game and in the tournament. I know that Caleb's teammates are really going to miss him. I personally will always remember his smile and his character and how he carried himself. I hope we can all keep a little piece of Caleb with us. God bless him. Next, Coach Danny.
Thank you, Coach. Hello, I'm Danny Priest. I had the distinct honor and privilege of taking Caleb to Cooperstown Dreams Park. It's hard to believe that just 5 weeks ago, we were at Cooperstown Dreams Park playing baseball, enjoying the experience of the Cooperstown 12U tournament. Long story short, my team needed another player in order to make it to Cooperstown. My friend and retired co-worker, Mike, led us to Caleb. My first reaction when I saw Caleb working out was, wow, this kid can play. Which led me to my second reaction, quickly, which was, I hope we don't scare him away. It's because we didn't have the greatest team. But that didn't matter to Caleb. He quickly showed he just wanted to play ball. I think all the coaches would agree with me that if they had a chance to put 9 Calebs on the field, they definitely would. He was naturally gifted with his skills and instincts, and he always held his head high. Win, lose, or draw, he hit the field with the same intensity and drive. He was every coach's dream player. I think one of his proudest moments was when I told him to go ahead and bat left-handed. He was showing off one morning in batting practice, showing me his switch hitter skills. Very impressive. During the game, I said, go ahead, big boy. Go ahead and show me. Well, he promptly stroked a single. Biggest smile on first base ever seen. Off the field, he was funny, unpredictable, and witty. For example, I was watching the boys doing some pin trading and negotiating. Caleb suddenly yells out that he has a rock pen. The whole crowd comes running to see his famous rock pen. Caleb carefully eyed up the other pens available and then gives the trader his infamous rock as he grabbed the pen that he wanted, and he takes off running. The kid chased after him after realizing that his rock pen was just a simple rock. It was a hilarious chase, and he tried it quite a few times after that. He was so fun. He was easygoing. He never asked for anything. He just went along with the flow, and his smile was definitely contagious. He could light up a room. He has left a lasting impression with my family and the Jarrettsville Cooperstown team. He will always be a part of Cooperstown as he was inducted into the American Youth Baseball Hall of Fame, and he was given a ring. I remember the last day at the barracks. We just lost our last game. It was 11 o'clock in the morning. And Caleb never changed out of his uniform. He spent all day pin trading, messing with the crowd, and just playing with friends. And that night, he jumped into his bunk, still wearing his uniform, and even his hat. And he slept all night, just like that. Billy and Katie, Caleb was so incredibly gracious and genuinely appreciative. He viewed the Cooperstown experience as a gift, but in actuality, Caleb was a gift to us. My family and I will always be incredibly grateful for the memories that we shared with him. Caleb will be in our hearts forever. Thank you. At this time, the mic is open if anyone else would like to say anything.
I wasn't planning on coming up here. I'm Paige, and I'm Caleb's cousin. Earlier this year, Billy and Katie, I can't look at them, texted me asking to come on a trip with them, with the family, and it turned into 2 trips and 3 trips, so I've had the opportunity to travel with them this year, which was a blessing in disguise. I didn't really see them a whole lot, so I was really excited about it, and it changed my life. Their family is amazing. Them as a whole. Billy and Katie are wonderful parents, and any kid would be blessed to have them. So they had so many fans. Caleb knew how to light up a room. He was like a little brother to me. He loved life. He enjoyed every little bit, even if it was things he didn't necessarily feel like doing or was tired. He was a trooper. He loved sushi. We went to Australia, and everywhere we went, you would find sushi somewhere. He liked magic cards, magic trick cards. He started collecting them. They were like $20. And Billy's like, why do you need that? I was like, I want another pack. So I just wanted to come up here and tell everyone that they love all of you, and it's just a blessing. I know that everybody watching their channel and just watching their family, it's uplifting, and it shows what a true family is. People who love each other with all their hearts and would do anything for each other. So I am honored to be a part of their family forever. And I was honored to spend this last year with them. He was such a joy to be with. So, in saying that, I love all of you, and I love them so much.
Hey H Money, how you doing? Good. So, some of you Bratayley fans watching at home may be wondering if I'm George Washington. And yes, it's true. I work at Maker Studios, and for the past 2 months, I've been so fortunate to spend my weekends with the Brataylys, working on a new show called Bratayley Makes History, in which I dressed up as George Washington and drove around in the backseat of the Brataylys' car on an epic road trip across America's original 13 colonies. Yes, this is actually my job. And it's been awesome. History was Caleb's favorite subject, you know, and together we adventured around the country, meeting historians, visiting important sites, and even talking to 2016 presidential candidates. We laughed, we danced, we sang Yankee Doodle a lot. We ran through fields, we jumped in the water with our clothes on. But most importantly, we explored the world together, and we had so much fun. It takes a certain curiosity and fearlessness and passion to explore the world, and Caleb exuded this. The mission of our show was simple. What if we could help inspire millions of kids to learn more about history and the world around them? And we were well on our way, considering the Brataylys get more YouTube views than all the major news networks in America. You know, it can be easy to be cynical in life. We all watch things and wonder to ourselves, is this real? This can't be real. I don't believe it. Well, let me tell you, Bratayley is real. It's very real. I remember one night on our first shoot in Massachusetts, long after the cameras were off, I went for a walk with the whole family. Katie was still filming for their channel. And when we walked past some berries that had fallen from a tree, we obviously started having a berry fight. But when she put her camera away, nothing changed. The kids all kept running around, dancing and laughing with each other. The magic of Bratayley hit me so clearly in that moment. This is not an act. They're not putting on a show. Nothing changes when the camera is on. What you all see every day on Bratayley is just a small snapshot of their passion for life and their love for each other. I was walking around Manhattan in the middle of the night this weekend, trying to make sense of all this, when I walked past Carnegie Hall and I smiled to myself. A lot of kids from all over the world dream of one day appearing in front of an audience that large. But Caleb and his sisters didn't need Carnegie Hall. They brought Carnegie Hall and then some to their living room. As far as I'm concerned, the Brataylys have already made history. Their love for each other and their excitement for life has connected millions of people, and the world is a happier place because of them. Billy, Katie, you are such incredible parents. Your unabated, unconditional love and celebration of your children is an inspiration to all of us. Haley, Annie, the best thing you can do to honor your brother is to continue to do what you do best. Live every day with passion, with purpose, with grace, with laughter, with kindness, and with love. We all love you so much, and we're all here for you every step of the way.
the angels know what they have. I'll bet it's so nice up in heaven since you've arrived. So tell me, what do you do up in heaven? Are your days full of love and light? Is there music? Is there art and invention? Tell me, are you happy? Are you more alive? 'Cause here on earth it feels like everything but good is missing since you left. And here on earth everything's different. There's an emptiness. Oh, I hope you're dancing in the sky, and I hope you're singing in the angels' choir, and I hope the angels know what they have. I'll bet it's so nice up in heaven since you've arrived, and I hope you're dancing in the sky, and I hope you're singing in the angels' choir, and I hope the angels know what they have. I'll bet it's so nice up in heaven since you've arrived, since you've arrived.
My name is Father Anthony, and I met most of you earlier, and those on what they call this live stream. This is all new to me. Somehow I'm connected to the family. I'm related. It's a whole long story. Caleb not only was an awesome athlete, not only was he an awesome friend and very sensitive, but there is a song in Les Mis, and it's to see the face of God is to see it in the one you love. And Caleb was loved by all. And I didn't have the opportunity to be in the backseat of the car, but I think that as an old priest, you just won me over, because I'm going to have to start watching you all. But what I did watch these days is that what you saw on YouTube and what you saw in everyday life was the same. Grief is something that we don't like to talk about. Passing and death is something that is so devastating. And when someone so is young, as our dearest friend, we know that believing in God, that death is not the end, but truly a new beginning. And like that beautiful song that his cousin sang, I really don't know what heaven is like up there now, because I'm sure that there's just a lot of things going on, and a lot of moving around, and a lot of movements. Caleb truly had the life of so many of us that we all wanted to be, and at such a young age, he was able to bring it to completion. And knowing that we have a loving God, that when we have that feeling of grief that is so in depth in our heart that it kind of gets us in our gut, and especially those who are watching, that we need to be able to reach out to others and talk about our friend, and talk about something very positive, and something that made us laugh, and to be able to keep those stories and those wonderful live streams alive in our hearts. Because we know that if we have that same relationship with God, that one day we'll all be together. And then the scripture says that every tear we wiped away on that day, we shall see our God as we are, and we shall be like our God. And that veil of darkness, that veil of death will be lifted, and we'll all be able to be invited to that great banquet. We end this evening giving God thanks and praise for the full gift of Caleb, and the gift of his family, and the gift of coming to be part of each of you and all those who are watching into your families. And we pray that your family can be as genuine, as loving, and as giving, because these days that I spent with you as a family truly showed me that family is not something that's forgotten, but is something that is nurtured and is worked at each day. And as a family, you were able to give that, and give that with such love, not only to those in this room, but those who are watching. We pray in thanksgiving for the full gift of Caleb, and we also pray that we can live up to him, because even people from all over, he has touched our lives in such a way that we're going to be able to see the fruitfulness of his life through all that we do and all the good that we do this day and every day. As we bring this to an end, this evening to an end, the evenings to an end, but we'll always be able to allow his life to never end, and always be alive in our heart this day and every day. As we come to an end, we invite you to pay your last respects, so the family will have some privacy with him before this evening ends. God bless you, and God bless the healing that has taken place in each and every one of us this day. This time I'm going to ask for some music, and we're going to invite those seated in the back to come by and pay your